another short video. I just wanted to do a quick chit chat about what's going on with tarot and astrology right now, because the sun is now in Gemini. Jupiter has entered Gemini. Venus is there, and soon everybody's going to be there. And we're going to have the new moon there. So we're going to have this Gemini stellium. So here's the card that represents Gemini. Gemini has to do with the third house, it has to do with communication. It doesn't, even though the card is called the lovers, it's really a card of the mind. It's talking about duality. I can't show it up too long, so I'm going to do it like that. And so, ruled by Mercury. Mercury is the trickster, right? And so the whole of everything that's in Gemini is going to be ruled by Mercury. So what's the most important thing when you're in a love relationship is communication. Because if you can't communicate, then you don't know what's going on, right? Or if the communication is faulty. We know that the magician is also can be a trickster. So we have to be careful about that, especially if he's of two minds. Remember, we just saw the Seven of Swords. So we're entering into the mind. This is Jupiter now. Jupiter is entering Gemini. So we're going to be expanding our knowledge of what this could mean, right? In the tarot, we always get a little extra more than what we get in the astrology, because we're going to be learning about relationships now and the importance of communication. That's why you see all these things here. Everybody has the book open because it's a new cycle, a new learning cycle, right? So the wheel is turning. And this is part of your karmic lessons to learn what's going on here. Now, this Jupiter has to do with the ninth house and Sagittarius. So here we have a hermit who is, he works in the ninth house, even though they call him the ruler of Virgo or Chiron or whatever you have it, but he's in the ninth house because his card is number 9. This is the card that's supposed to represent Sagittarius, which is opposite Gemini, and this is Jupiter. So all these cards are going to be coming up, right? So we're going to have to learn to have this balanced communication of our emotions, right? And the intellect. Everything has to come together. It has to be balanced. If not, what's going to happen? Let me show you what's going to happen in the minor arcana. Okay, this is first card. We're talking about the first decan of Gemini, which is Jupiter in Gemini. And look at that. The expanse, the mind she's overthinking. Jupiter expands whatever it touches. So if it touches Gemini, it's going to expand and it's going to create the situation. It could be that there's so many new ideas that I don't know which to choose. It could be all of that, or it could be many things. But if we don't realize what's going on here and turn it into something creative, this is actually justice, right? So she may feel that she's being judged in a certain way, he or she. But anyway, she's far from home. But we're going to talk about this card at some other time. Here we have the second decan of Gemini, which is Mars in Gemini, is when we start to fight with ourselves. Mars, the fighter, right? And we attack the mind. The mind is being attacked, so we can't sleep, so we have insomnia, we can't stop thinking, right? Because if you're not saying what it is you're feeling, you're not expressing yourself, you're going to get here. And if you don't deal with things in the 9, you're going to take it to the 10, right? You're going to it's like implosion. And so this is bringing this cycle to a necessary end. This is actually the sun in Gemini. So where it comes to Gemini, where we're talking about relationships or where's my Gemini card, right? What can the mind do? It can rationalize, but what we need some cups here. That's why the next one is coming up is probably going to be an Ace of Cups. So when reasoning is taking you nowhere, it's just sticking the swords in your back, and so you are self-sabotaging, and you're not getting anywhere, and you're not understanding. Maybe this is in the end, this is true understanding. When you feel it, you can feel it in your body, and it hurts like hell. Let me tell you. The 10 of Swords, Sun in Gemini. Gemini has a bad rap, because Gemini is a sign that's have to do with learning, communicating, um, short trips. It has to do with the people in your neighborhood. It has to do with your family members, like cousins, aunties, uncles, all the rest of it, outside of your nuclear. And it has to do with things you have to do every day, the errands you have to run. It's your everyday life. And with Gemini is like a mini Google. He or she knows everything, right? Or you can always go and check Uncle Google for the answer. So Gemini has to have all the answers. Gemini is everything. Gemini knows everything. He means that know it all. You see? And so, but Gemini always skim the surface. They don't want to get too deep into anything. But if you want to go deep, like Scorpio deep, you have to start with small talk, which is Gemini. So we're just skimming over the top. We're never going underneath. Why? Because we don't want to get involved in these heavy business here with all these things underneath. Well, where you don't. So you say no. But that's why between Gemini and Scorpio, there's an inconjunct because it's feel uncomfortable. And there's a reason for it being uncomfortable because they have nothing in common, but they have to learn to work together. So if that inconjunction is like the stone in your shoe that can't help you walk. If you deal with it, you take out the stone, honey, you can run. And we can get through all of this. And the last thing I just wanted to say, because I saw this Sagittarius and it always seeking the balance between what? The balance between these two cards. It's either frugal, left behind, almost with nothing, and then heading into excess. So she's the angel is seeking balance through alchemy and harmony between these two because it's like I said, between a rock and a hard place. But you can do it with the help of your angels, with your guides. Okay, that's all I wanted to share. Very interesting. I love these things, and I just thought that you might too.